class.
Good morning.
Right, today we're going to do something that has to do with finding order in disorder. That is the topic that we shall be touching. Finding order in disorder. Okay. There you are. Let's see if we can decipher this. This is order and this is disorder. Coming to NTC, did you meet any disorderly conduct? Can you cite any disorder? Or right here in the room, maybe was there disorder that you encountered? Maybe yes, maybe no. I'll cite traffic, right? There is disorder in traffic. Or people are not disciplined. They can cross the street anywhere they want. That is a sign of disorder. Or if I give you a series of numbers, you can see whether there is orderliness or disorderliness. So right in life, there is disorder. And part of what we are striving for when we talk of peace is giving order to what is otherwise disorderly. I'll show you a transparency on the screen and ask you if there is orderliness or disorderliness. If I showed you something like this, is this order in here? What do you see? It's a cabbage, okay? And what do you think of when you see cabbage? Anything that you think of when you see cabbage? You know, I'll tell you what I think of. I think of McDo. Right? Why? Because I love coleslaw. Right. So therefore, you connect cabbage with coleslaw. But before you get to the coleslaw salad, you have to do something, right? And therefore, right here, when we do order in disorder, there has to be a way of approaching the disorderliness. That's why you have traffic policemen, right? To direct traffic. There are other situations. I'll show you another transparency, and I ask you, is this order here? What does it remind you of? Towards Christmas time, you go to a fruit store, and that's what you see. And they could be pumpkins. Is this orderly? Yes, there is order in what you see. Now, in the cabbage, there is also orderliness, but it is not like the orderliness here, because the petals or the leaves are overlapping, right? And you see that when you cut the cabbage crosswise, and you see how beautiful God's work is. Okay, I'll show you another transparency, which means, right, when I come from church in the morning, I see weeds, right? This is an example of plants that I see along the way. Is there order in it? Has God come out with the design? Maybe you say 2, and then 2, and then 2, and then 2. There is order and there is balance, okay? So whenever we get to mathematics, we think of orderly arrangement. And so no matter how disorderly things are, there is going to be order eventually. What do you see here? Also for salad. Can anybody guess what that picture shows? Yes?
It is asparagus.
An asparagus. How many love asparagus? I love it. Maybe some don't. But you see the orderliness there. Because if you see the spokes, they're like that. Diba? And then you begin to see beauty. That is it. But somehow, supposing I have this, and I say, is this orderly? Maybe not. But somehow, when I look at this, right, and I see this, I can find order in that one. Mhm. Now, let's see if there is a kind of rule that we can observe. Right? And you say, how many lines do you see here? One. And here? And here? And here? Right? There are 5. So what is missing? If there is to be an order, you have to bring in 4 lines. There. So in finding order, in this order, you see gaps. Is it not? And so if I put this in an orderly fashion, I might be able to bring in the drawing in this way. All right? Yes. And yes. And yes. And yes. All right. Would somebody like to draw the next one? Yeah, very good. GJ would like to bring the next one. Okay. How many lines did he look at?
5 lines.
5 lines. So in terms of number of lines, there is order now. Okay? So 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, and he has to hit 5 lines. But later on we'll realize we're not thinking along the same line as J is, or vice versa. Because if I ask the question, how many intersection points do you see? Right? You say 1 line. How many intersection points? 0. Okay? This is number of lines. So I'll put here 1. How many intersections? 0. Here, how many lines? Right? I use a different pen. Anyway, that can stay. How many lines? 2. And here? And here? 4. Okay, let's stop a while and find out if there is order. Right? How many intersection points? 1. How many intersection points? 3. Okay, and here? 6. Is there order in the way they intersect? So now, the intersection points are 0, 1, 3, let's say 6. And then, how many am I expecting if there is order? How many will I be expecting? 0, 1, 2. How many am I expecting? 10. Okay, let's see if you gave 10. Count with me. 6 pa rin. Who can show me lines where out of 5 lines I will get? Is it 5 lines? Yes. 10 intersection points. Volunteers. Because if there has to be order, then it must be following a rule. You get it? Okay. Try. Ilang kaya? Okay. I was asking for 5 lines with 10 intersections. Who would like to show that it? Joseph did fine. Would you like to come over, Joseph, and show the group how you get?
So in the figure, there are 5 lines and 10 intersection points. So this is going to be the first line, the second line, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. So and then there are 10 intersection points. First, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Would you like
5,
to mark
6,
them there?
7, 8, 9, 10.
Would you like to mark them for everybody?
This is going to be the
1,
first point. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the last 10.
You agree? Right? Who has another configuration? Not necessarily as artistic, not as a reminder of Christmas. Right? I'll show you again how I did this. One. I don't like that. How many lines already? Okay. Why am I looking at things carefully in arranging the orientation of the line? So now let's see. I have 5 lines. Would you like to come over and count the intersection points? 1, 2. Was there one here? There's one.
Yeah.
No, I erased that. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. What was the secret? Why is it that I could get 10 and you could not? So when we teach math, we incite the minds of the students. Bakit nakukuha niya? Ako hindi ko nakukuha. Right? Now, if, for example, in the case of Joseph, he actually increased this. It's the same 10 intersection points, is it not? Okay, now, if I have already 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, where will I let the next line pass so that it's like in football, you intercept? Who would like to volunteer and draw the line that will intercept all of those lines? Jade? Okay. Did Jade's line pass through all the other lines or intercept them? Yes. Then I will now ask Jane to count the points.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. Is this order? Is there order? The intersection points are 0, 1, 3, 4, and the next one is 6. And the next is how much? 10. Hook, is it 6? It's not 4. It is 6, and then it is 10. Who can predict the next one? It's 15. How many lines? 6 lines. All right, I'll give you a minute to do it on your seats. We need 6 lines. And we need how many intersections? 15, okay. To see is to believe. That is the thing. Have you counted, Noemi? Have you counted? 15? Talaga? 6 lines? Come over to the board and show us so they will believe. You see? She's very economical. She did not draw new. She used this one. Okay, I'll allow you. How many do we have already? 5 lines. And how many points? 10. Alin ang nadagdag? Mark those na nadagdag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Did we need 5 additional points? Yes. So she's very economical, ano? She's very wise. She said, I will not draw a new set. I will use the original. Okay? So let us get a lesson from her. How many lines? How many points? Therefore, if I have 15, how many points can I predict for 7 intersecting lines? 21. I would like to just follow her example. Just add one more line and see if you can add. How many more are you going to add? 6 more. Who would like to try it? So you will not waste pages and pages of your notebooks. Well, I get, right? This is Donita. Come to the board. Would you like to extend this para makita nila? And the other one. Ayan. So, where are the additional points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Were we expecting 6 additionals? Yes. So now, out of this order, we saw order. There is orderliness in the number of lines and in the number of intersection points. Let's summarize what we had, okay? I said number of lines, number of intersection points. Okay, and we summarize. When it is summarized, it's easier to understand. So, number of lines, 1. How many intersection points? 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 10. Then, how many? For 6 lines, we had 15, and you can go on. Right? 7, and we had 21. So there is order. In fact, a while ago, I am a very disorderly teacher. I was ready to get you a motivating situation by showing you this. I say, this was the original transparency, but I could not find it. Ganyan ako kagulo as a teacher. So I said, class, what do you see? Right. And some of my students will say, I see Chinese characters. Okay? You know, in my class, there are no wrong answers. I can accept that. Bukaban Chinese characters? Yes. And I also get an answer. I see drop sticks. When you drop the sticks, di ba? There's a game. What else do you see? And somebody will say, Mom, I see a teacher correcting papers, getting madder and madder. Galit na siya. Galit na galit because so many mistakes. The reason why perhaps you could not see order is the presentation. Nagmula sa pinakamagulo. Supposing I put it this way. All right, now there is order. Is it not? What is the orderliness? You have how many lines?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
See, sometimes the presentation is important, and that's good to remember when you teach. For your students to understand, have an orderly presentation. Okay? So now, I say, can I make a formula out of this? If it had been 0 lines, how many intersection points? 0. Paano magkaka-intersection? Wala naman lines. Is it not? That's logic. See? So you teach your students to reason that way. So this is also 0. Now, if I say, for example, if I have 7 lines and I look at this, 7 times 6, how will I get 21? Is there a relation between 7 and 6 and 21? What is the relationship? Yes?
When you multiply 7 times 6 is equal to 42 divided by 2 is
Okay, that is a conjecture. That is a hypothesis. Is it true for this? 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 About true, you have discovered a rule in math. It says, supposing the last thing here is n, what will I call this? Or this is n, what will I refer this with? Yes?
If we have n, then the number of intersections would be 7 multiplied by n divided by.
Okay, but if I call this n, what will I call the previous number? Yes?
We will call the previous number as n minus 1.
N minus 1. And how do I get the number of intersection points?
The number of intersection is the product of n and the n minus 1 all over 2.
Okay, do you believe that? Let's see. What's it for 4 lines? How will I get this? Anybody? How will you get 6 out of this too? Yes? Jay?
Yes, it's true for the numbers 4 times 3 is 12 divided by 2, 6.
Okay. Right? Does it apply to all? So what did we find today? Out of disorder, there is order. And that order is translatable in mathematics by way of a formula. I will now count the number of regions. Wow, regions naman ngayon. Region. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So many is it not? So now, what does a director do when he wants you to focus on the scene? Di ba nagaganyan ang director para ma-focus? Okay, para ma-focus natin, this is what we will do. Gamitin natin ito. Okay. This is the frame, right? So now, how many regions if there is 1 line? So now, 2 regions. How many regions if there are 2 lines? Aha. How many regions if there are 3 lines? 7. Yes? Now, how many lines shall we have? Next? 4 lines. I'll draw 4 lines. Who would like to count the regions? Yes. What's your name? Yes, good. Alan.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay. 11. Did you predict 11? Yes. Wow. Supposing I have another frame, how many lines will that be? 5 lines. Now I will draw the lines for Okay. How many regions do you predict? 16? Show me 16. Saan naman ang 16 dyan? Volunteer? Yes, Donita? Would you like to come to the board and count for everybody?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
16 nga, ano? Do you need any more proof? To see is to believe. Is it not? Do you think there is a formula that will apply to that? Baka naman, ano? Okay. Ano kaya yung formula? So we start with this. This will now be number of regions. I'll have number of regions. Let us fill up the space. For one line, for two lines, for three lines, seven, for four lines. How much? 11. 5 lines. 16. For that is going to be actually seen this time. Would you like to do it for this and this? How many will there be? How many? 22. 22? Okay, wow. And the next? 29. Wow. Well, and if no lines? If no line? You see, I purposely left that. So now, one region. Do you think there is order? Yes, there is order. Do you remember what we had? 0 lines. How many intersections? 0. This is it? 1 line? 0. Alright, natandaan nila. Alright? Wow. Okay, now, ano ngayon ang formula? Are the two related? Can you think of a relationship? This time, I say, I would like to know the number of regions that are formed by n curves. If each curve intersect the other curves at 2 points. So, curves na ngayon. So, if I say, no curve, how many regions? 1 curve. How many regions? 2 curves. Will you count? How many regions? Curves na. How many regions here? 1. Here? 2. Here? 5. Here? Right, wala pa palang curve. Does its curve intersect the other curves at 2 points? Yes. Is it not? This curve intersects this curve twice. This curve intersects this curve twice. Lahat doble. Kita tayo sa dalawang lugar. Would you like to count the number of regions? Very disorderly ito, ano? Anley, would you like to come and count?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Saan ang 11? Is this region is kasama nun?
Ay, oo.
Yan, double count. How many? 10. Put it there. Right. Who would like to draw the next picture? How many curves? 4. Wow. See, this is very disorderly. Tulad ng ginawa kanina, she capitalized on what was there already. So we will not draw the new curves anymore. Draw me a curve that will intercept each of those. Suggestions? We are putting order in disorder. Okay, let's see. If I draw it from here, right. Did I intercept this twice? This one twice? This one twice? Okay. And which are the additionals? Okay? What? Saan ang 4? Dito? Ano pa? Wala na? Where else? Come forward. He's pointing at it, but he's far away. So Mark will mark here. Si sabi niya, laki-laki, hindi niya nakikita. Right? Binubulong niya kanina. That's why I asked him to come forward. Kasi if you are here, hindi mo makikita yun. Oh, how many were added? Huh? 60? Mali na naman ang bilang niyo. Meron tayong minarkahan kanina niya, hindi nandyan eh. Right? Which one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pero meron akong didaanan kanina na wala. Nauna. Ito. Ito. Ha.
If we're going to move,
All right. So, if you have that, okay. How many here now? All right. Now look at the numbers. Is there a character of the number that is familiar to you? If I subtract 1 from 5, what do you get? Subtract 1. Ano kaya dito? Now everybody's thinking. Joseph again?
36.
36? 26. If I subtract 1, is there a character of the word, of the numbers? Perfect what?
Perfect square.
Perfect squares. If I say this is the 6th figure, is this the 6th or the 5th? I'm in lines. 5th, is it not? So, what is it? It's 5. This one. This one. Wow. And this one. And this one. And this one. Is there now orderliness? So if it is the nth, n curves. One. Okay, so that will be the number of regions. Are you following? So here we are seeing, we see with our eyes, we actually draw, and then we arrive at a mathematical expression which is very abstract. Rather than tell you, class, see, it is n squared plus 1. Tomorrow you forget that. But if you do it yourself, you can discover it by yourself. You get the point? Now, one thing about math teaching is don't give everything to the students. Help them to discover. Help them to put order in disorder. Diba? Okay. Kung magulo ang isip nyo at marami kayong problema, ano ang mga mungkahi sa inyo? Isa-isahin mo na lang ang problema, huwag sabay-sabay para makita mo ang solusyon. See? So you're also teaching values. Let us put order in this disorderly world. Para hindi lahat naglalaban-laban. What are the causes of disorder now in our world? Drugs. Is it not? What else? RH bill. Is it not? When I teach math, I don't teach math only. You teach the world. That's what I'm saying. Are you getting something from this discussion?
Yes.
All right. This is the reason why this lesson was put towards the end, to help you come out with certain integration of learnings. Okay? Now, all this time you have been sitting there. What skills am I trying to develop in you? Without telling you. Yes.
Logical skills.
Come again.
Some logical skills.
All right. Any others? What skills am I trying to emphasize to you? Am I stressing your observation skills? Yes. Observe. Yun ang sinasabi. Describe. Compare. Yan lahat na yan. You just don't teach children by telling them the answers. Observe muna. Ano bang nangyayari? Right? 1, 2. Okay. Right? Kanya kayo kanina, hindi nyo makuha because you did not see that each new line intercepts the previous lines. Is it not? Each new child starts from learnings from his forebears. That's what you're saying, right? So, let us see if you can get the power of observation by looking at these patterns. I will now give you a seat work. Okay, when we're talking of order and disorder, or finding order in disorder, sometimes we have to bank on actual situations. Way back in 1960s, when I first went abroad, I was a young girl, and sometimes I found it difficult looking for places. But there are some very advanced cities that have a mapping of the roads, because the roads are worked out in such a way that they're parallel and perpendicular. So it's easy to find, no? Unlike here, you have to deal with different crossroads, which is similar to what we had. right? Now, in mathematics, we bank on a matrix of points like this. These are not freckles. They are freckles because there is an arrangement. You call this a matrix of points. Is it not? There's a vertical and a horizontal. Now, supposing I ask, if I deal with this, I can use it as a guide. And if I have things like this, I say, this is 1 inch and 1 inch. What is the area of this figure? That's 1 by 1. 1 here and 1 there. Yan. Right. So this is 1 square inch, 2 square. How many? 3.5. How much is this? Ooh. What was that? So you're now saying this has the same area as that. Very good. Supposing I have this. This one. What's the area of this? And this? 1/2. And this? 0.5. You are saying to me, pareho palang area ng dalawang yan? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Only Anne was brave enough to say yes. Is it not? Now, when I was a child, my mother would divide the mango cheek, right? Right? Pag ganyan ang cut, akala ko maliit. Pag ginanyan, diagonal, akala ko ang galing, malaki yung mangga, no? Right? So some people will say, this might be bigger than that. Would you agree this is bigger in area?